My name is John French, and I've been with Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Services for 18 and a half years. I'm a substance use disorder specialist and a member of my union, SEIU, Local 521. Last time I was here, I spoke from a prepared statement, and today I'm just going to speak from the heart. There's a term in any negotiation called bargaining in good faith, and we, the county workers that work for you, have proven our good faith by delivering quality services to the most desperate and desolate citizens of Kern County. We've shown good faith by addressing the fentanyl crisis. We've shown good faith by addressing the human trafficking crisis. We've shown good faith by addressing the homelessness crisis. Each and every day, our workers go out to places that the police won't go without weapons or backup at great risk of our own personal safety, and yet we've shown good faith by showing up and consistently providing effective services and bringing about dignity to the desperate and lost citizens of Kern County. The truth is, what would our county look like without these services? What would the public outcry be without these services? The truth is that low wages place a great stressor upon an already stressed and overworked workforce. And the truth is that we've come in good faith, we've asked, we've pleaded. The truth is that we want our wages to be reflective of the value that we bring to Kern County and its citizens. We do these things because we care, and we've put good faith in you to meet our needs as your employees. We've stood in good faith, and we ask you to do the same, to reciprocate and let our compensation be reflective of the value that we bring to our community. Today is the National Day of Giving, and for decades and decades, my agency has given their very best. The question is, will you? We are asking that you return to the table. We are demanding that you return to the table and resume these negotiations.
Good morning. My name is Mary Hernandez, Hernandez. I've been a Kern County employee for over 10 years. I'm a substance abuse specialist, and I'm a proud member of SEIU 521. I am demanding a fair union contract, and I'm here to tell you why numerous of my coworkers are committing to an unfair labor practice strike. I've been here the whole entire time that I've been working for the county. I have been underpaid, exploited, unappreciated, undervalued, unrecognized, and overburdened. It's no wonder that we can't keep people long enough past probation. They leave for better paying jobs. I serve the community here in Kern County, people that are struggling from drug addiction, all of Kern County, from Ridgecrest, Delano, Wasco, Lake Isabella, Tehachapi, Mojave. All those calls come to us, and we serve these individuals struggling with mental health issues and substance abuse issues, and we're supposed to be on the phone with them. And being bilingual, I do double work. My work is double because I have to translate. I'm taken from the phone, away from the phone, to translate in person. If I have to do a screening for someone that's suffering from dual diagnosis and I'm by myself in that room, no panic button, no security, and I'm having to call someone for help because this person is being inappropriate and moving towards me, about to maybe attack me. I don't know what he's gonna be doing to me. I don't know. My role is not just providing substance abuse services. I also deal with the state programs, the MAT services, dealing with people that are on Suboxone in the prisons. Being bilingual, we do double work. Double work. I feel that the county feels that we are replaceable. The turnover, there's new employee orientations every 30 days. Every 30 days. I demand that the board return to the table for negotiations.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez.
With the union.
Good morning. My name is Harbin Kaur, K-A-U-R, and I'm a community advocate. I'm a previous community organizer, a resident, and law student, and then lastly, the vice president of Kern County Young Democrat Leaders. So I'm very heavily invested in our local community, and so I'm here to address the urgent staffing issues, the shortages, and the overwhelming workloads that our Kern County workers have been facing. These issues are directly impacting the availability and quality of services that most vulnerable residents rely on every day. When Kern County workers are underpaid and stretched far beyond capacity, the effects ripple through the community. Families face longer wait times for housing support, children go without necessary health care, and community struggle with delays in infrastructure and public safety. These problems are disproportionately harming low-income and marginalized communities, deepening the cycles of poverty and inequality. We have an opportunity to change this, though. By investing in Kern County workers, offering competitive wages and sustainable workloads, we can ensure that essential services are accessible and efficient. These investments don't just help the workers, they help all of us. This whole community right here, everyone who has showed up today is demanding change, is demanding a service that we are obligated to provide to our citizens to create healthier and more stable communities, and of course, stimulating our local economy. So there's a lot of benefits when we support our unions, when we support our community, we support Kern County. We're working towards, enriching this community and trying to ensure that everyone has the services that are needed, and I urge this board to return to the negotiation table and offer a fair contract that prioritizes the well-being of Kern County's workers and residents. It's time to build a stronger and more equitable future for everyone in our county. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Jesus Hernandez, Hernandez. Good morning. I'm a crime technician with the Kern County Sheriff's Office. As you may know, you have offered us your best final offer. I'm here to tell you that it's not the best. It might be your last, but it's not your best. Every shift, my coworkers and I are asked to face the worst side of humanity. And you have told us that we are only worth a measly 3%. We are the backbone of every criminal investigation. Our expertise in fingerprints, evidence collection, and preservation. How do we expect to keep and attract new employees when they can leave to go flip burgers for the same pay and not see the horrific scenes that we have to see? How do we expect to keep employees from leaving with valuable knowledge for other agencies like BPD, where the pay would mean a 52% wage increase? Or Tulare County, where the wage increase would mean a 17% for an hour drive? I can tell you I've thought about that. Since being hired, I've watched many coworkers leave. That's a lot of expertise. A lot of expertise that can be used to solve crimes. That's leaving for other job opportunities. We sit there and train these employees so they can go for better opportunities. And it's not fair to the community, it's not fair to us to sit there and waste time on training someone just so they can go work for other agency for better pay. I'm stressed out, I'm overworked. It's been a hard two years with the unit. Again, I'm not worth the 3%, okay? I can go work for Tulare County for 17%. And I can tell you, me and my other coworkers thought about that. I can go work for BPD for 52%. You're sitting here telling me that I'm only worth a 3% increase, 6% over 2 years. It's not fair. Okay, treat us like we deserve. Give us the pay we deserve. You don't have to see what I see every single shift. Okay, I see dead kids. I see dead bodies every single day. And it's not fair to us for 3%. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Good morning. My name is Catherine Hughes, Hughes. I'm a registered nurse and the executive director of the Nurse Alliance of SEIU California, proudly representing over 30,000 nurses across the state of California. And on behalf of all SEIU members across the state, 750,000 of us. Our membership in SEIU is a force to be reckoned with. Short staffing and high workloads have always been problematic, but they're particularly felt post-COVID, and the members of this community are paying the price for that. Kern County residents are suffering from lack of or delayed services that are vital to community health due to short staffing and high workloads. When healthcare workers are denied livable wages and manageable workloads that has a direct negative impact on the care and services provided to patients and the communities those professionals serve. Kern County should be investing in the community it serves instead of creating barriers to these essential services because its employees are overworked and underpaid. By offering competitive wages and the county has an opportunity to maintain competitive wage pay structures and improve access to care and other vital services supporting these workers, then everyone in Kern County has an opportunity to thrive. On behalf of over 30,000 nurses and 750,000 SEIU members, I'm urging the board to return to the table, commit to a contract that makes the well-being of Kern County employees and the communities they serve a priority. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dolores Huerta, and I'm representing the Dolores Huerta Foundation. And I'm here to ask the Board of Supervisors to please come to the table, sign a fair contract with Local 521. Now, these workers that are out there, they represent you. So when you do not have the staffing that is needed, and someone calls the call center and they need help, and they have to stay on the phone for 3 hours because you don't have enough staff to be able to take care of people, this reflects on you. This reflects on you because you are the elected leaders that are supposed to provide the services and the staffing for Kern County. So these are your workers. You know, Kern County has a reputation of being a backward area. I travel all over the state of California, and when I say I'm from Kern County, people kind of raise their eyebrows, okay? There is no reason why Kern County should be looked at as a backward county. We are not a poor county. We are very rich in agriculture, oil, and other resources. And there is not a lack of funding. You have more than enough money to be able to give your workers that represent you to take care of the community, to keep the community safe and secure and healthy and clean. There is more than enough money so you cannot use that as an excuse. So it's time for you to do your job. Do your job. Make sure that you pay the workers and that you have enough staffing, because right now they are overworked and underpaid. And then punished because they have to speak bilingually. We have a lot of people in Kern County, over half of the county, many of them speak other languages. And workers should not get punished because they have to speak another language. So please, on behalf of the community,
Thank you for your comments
as you
today.
heard here, please, we're calling on you to do your job.
Thank you again for your comments.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Larry Fernandez. I'm a Human Services Technician 3 with the Department of Human Services. The last time I was here to speak to you, me and my peers had hoped that the board would reconsider the terrible contract you guys had presented to us as the best we could offer. Now, a few months later, we are here back again as the terrible deal is now your final best offer. Now, the board continues to fail to understand the workers here today fighting for better terms are the backbone that drives the county forward. We provide the critical services that keep the community at large running as seamless as possible. Without us operating daily, you are denying crucial services from healthcare, food security, road safety, and mental health services, just to name a few. Your lack of urgency in addressing our issues just shows that you do not take us seriously and you do not care for the greater good of the community you were elected to serve. You have continued to push a false narrative of acting in good faith when all that you do is offer us scraps and expect us to be grateful. And that may have worked in the past before, but now with the cost of everything dramatically rising, impossible workloads, lack of meaningful retention efforts, a lot of us are forced to live paycheck to paycheck, burn out, and work ourselves to the bone because you do not deem us worthy of a livable wage, workload relief, or adequate staffing levels. You sit there and tell us that Kern County is grounded and boundless, yet a majority of us feel shackled and caged due to your callous efforts just to save a penny. We can sit here all day arguing semantics when the bottom line is we do not feel appreciated, nor do we feel we are being served the best deal possible. The board has the power to appropriately address all of our issues to relieve this burden and all these departments feel. I demand that this board return to the negotiation table with my union and reach a deal that improves the services to our community needs and retention to workers. I also urge my fellow union and non-union members, as well as the community, to stand in solidarity to wholeheartedly reject any deal that the county has offered us until it is a fair contract for all. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Lori Erickson, and I've worked for Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Services for 6 years. I'm a substance abuse specialist too, and I've worked in recovery field for 24 years. I'm also a member of Union SEIU Local 521. I'm here to comment today about why my coworkers are preparing for an unfair labor practice strike. We are experiencing a decreased retention and recruitment issues within behavioral health department. There are also times the workload is so overwhelming, all we can do is respond to the next priority or client crisis. There are folks out there dying due to the current opiate crisis in our community and nation. I don't want to only have time and resources to respond to the next priority situation. I want to help change lives, take time and energy to individuals who desperately need help and treatment, not just responding to that next crisis or that next fire with an individual, because that's what I have the time and the resources to do. We must work together with the board and our union to provide fair wages, caseloads, and retention of experienced and seasoned workers. As the old saying goes, you can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or you can teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime. We need time and resources to provide life-saving interventions and resources to build self-sufficiency and a foundation of recovery to those we serve. I demand this board return to the negotiation table with my union and reach a deal that improves the services to our community's needs and retains workers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments.
Good morning. My name is Jose A. Lopez, extra help worker for the past 2 years. I'm here to address this on behalf of my union, SEIU Local 521. As extra help workers, we are at the very base, at the beginning of possibly a career with the county. There was a time when I think county work was a very prestigious place to be. The opportunity just to even arrive at that place was a place of considerable pride. You wanted to be there because you knew that you were going to be serving the community. You knew that at the time that you needed it, those services were available to you. So if you had the ability to be there, you would help. Extra help workers are a very unique subset of group within our membership, within our workers also, where we are at the very base. We are getting $16.75 to start, a lot of us. I know that that was my case with me. I just completed 2 years. And I wanted to retain here because I thought maybe this is a career for me, public service. I came from a private workforce. I was 2 years there, and I thought this would be the place. But unfortunately, it's not competitive. We're not getting paid what we think we serve. When I can cross the street and go work at Winter Schnitzel, and I was working at DHS here at OC Sales, and get $20 just for serving fries, I think our community deserves better. I think we're losing a lot of legacy workers, and we're not replacing them. The extra help people are not turning into permanent workers because we're not getting paid, and the benefits are not there for us. So the incentive for us to make a career of where we're at is not there. And that is the truth. I know that we're a fiscally conservative county, but we need to invest in the future. We're losing our last generation of workers that were there permanently, and we're not replacing them with better workers because we don't have competitive wages. I appreciate the time that you've given us. Extra help workers are demanding us for you to go back to the table. Thank you so much.
Mr. Lopez.
Councilman.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Goze, G-O-Z-E. I work at Kern County Public Health as a communicable disease investigator. I'm also a member of the SEIU Local 521. I'm confused because you guys are in your positions to help your community. We're part of your community. We serve the community. We're helping other people in the community. And yet, you guys are saying we're only worth 3%? I'm sorry, that just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, we're losing good people every day, all my coworkers. Like, I've seen good people come and go because they have to get better jobs because they need to make more money. I know coworkers who work 2 jobs and sell plasma. I can't get another job because if I do, I have to ask permission from my boss to make sure it doesn't conflict. I can't sell plasma because of medication I'm on. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck working in my job, and my only other option is to leave, go to private sector or maybe another county. You guys are like, that's all you can do. That's all there is. I don't understand that. I mean, we are trying to help our community, which is your community, but you're saying we're not good enough. That just blows my mind. I don't understand that. And we haven't got any good responses from our negotiations. We've asked for like non-monetary issues, and it's no, you're not good enough, no. I mean, to me, that's just childish. And I'm sorry to have to say that to you, but it is. So please, come back to the table, offer us a better, fair contract. That's all we're asking. We're not asking for a lot, just something better. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Lydia Gonzalez. I work as a human services technician with the Department of Human Services, for the last 3 years. I'm a member of SEIU 521, and I'm here with my fellow colleagues as we prepare for an unfair labor practice strike. I come here today not only as an employee, but also as a community member that has utilized vital services from the Department of Human Services and Behavioral Health and Recovery Services. Without vital services such as cash, food, insurance, and behavioral health services, our community would not function. I have been on the recipient side of services. I would never have imagined that management would disregard our role in providing vital services to our community. I've taken serious consideration about leaving the county for an employer that values their employees. Ventura will pay me $7 an hour more for the same position. With mileage, cost, I'll still come out ahead. Yet I stay because I care for the community, and the community deserves people. The community deserves people on the front line that care. We have unrealistic workload expectations. These expectations leave us burnt out at the end of our day and unable to provide our families the 100% attention they deserve. We would like a fair and livable wage. We don't want, nor do we deserve to live paycheck to paycheck. We have goals, we have dreams. Living paycheck to paycheck doesn't allow us to make our dreams a reality for our families. Retention is a huge issue. We can't keep employees. Employees are not being honest on their exit forms in fear of retaliation if another opportunity presents to come back to the county. But most of all, it is a disgrace that you, as the Board of Supervisors, are allowing this. It is your responsibility to oversee our agencies to ensure that we are treated with dignity and respect. We vote you into power with expectations that our roles and positions with the county will be valued by management. It is unfortunate to say that you allow us to be treated as just another number.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez.
Janine, Jeanine, last name Adams, 1D, Tehachapi. I'd just like to make one comment, to the two speakers ago, and let that sink in. I'm a retired county employee. I worked at the assessor's office. I myself had a colleague at the assessor's office who needed to sell plasma to get by. Let that sink in. That someone who is supporting their family, this is not an entry-level person, this is a supervisor. His wife does not work. He has 2 sons in high school, and he has to sell plasma to make ends meet. I'd like you to really take a few minutes here to think about that. My original comment was, many Kern County workers have testified to the fact that the quality of community services are deteriorating. Concerned citizens have regularly provided feedback about the failure of the Elections Department to provide mandated reporting. They suggest that an individually elected registrar of voters would solve their problem. I would suggest that we don't need more chiefs. We need more Indians. We need more people who are qualified workers in the Elections Department and every department here at the county.
I would like to ask that you return to the table with a good faith offer. I'm very interested in hearing what our CAO has to say about this situation because doubling your net position over the last 5 years, we must be missing something, okay, if we cannot afford appropriate wages and people not having to sell their plasma
Thank you, Mr.
to
Adams.
make ends work.
Good morning, Chairman Couch. My name is Ian Payne, Payne. I actually have done all of your guys' nomination papers. I worked in the elections office since 2018. I left the county in 2023 due to poor management styles of Lori Cantu and Amy Espinoza, as well as Mary Bedard, who I love, but was guided, misjudged. Anyways, so during my time with the county, I received a 2.5 increase along with what was at one time a 5% increase until the step change in 2022, I believe, which then you received 2% every year, which made your overall pay go from 5 years to 10 years. So you were making less every year, basically. But I'm here because the men and women of Public Works, the paint shop, they majority of them have been here for 20 years, and they've not received a raise in quite a long time because they've been topped out, and there's been no cost of living raise other than the 4% they've received since this contract has come into negotiations. So I urge you to come back to the table and renegotiate at least something better than a 333 or 330. But yeah, thank you.
My name is Fabiola, spelled F as in Frank, A as in Apple, B as in boy, Iola. Last name Benitez, B as in boy, E as in elephant, N as in Nancy, ITEZ. So I stand before you as a proud member of the SEIU Contract Action Team representing the voices of county employees. I'm here to speak about the board's rejection of the current contract proposal, a decision that undermines those who serve this community every day. The board's best, last, and final offer is an insult to the hardworking men and women who dedicate their lives to this county. Let's remember the promises to the people of this community. Leticia Perez, you pledged to create secure, high-paying jobs. Philip Peters, you talked about a brighter future, but denying fair wages is a roadblock, not a pathway. David Couch, you promised to listen to residents, yet you ignore the struggles of those who serve them. Jeff Flores, you said you'd protect jobs and the economy. How does a 3% raise help either one of them? Make no mistake, this is about more than just pay. This is about respect. It's about recognizing the hard work, the sacrifice, and the dedication of every county employee. When you deny fair wages, you deny the value of these workers. And when that happens, you hurt the entire community. But when you invest in your workforce, you invest in this community. Fair wages create stronger families, better local economies, and a future where all of us can thrive together. This is not just about dollars and cents. It's about building a future that we can all be proud of. So I ask, will you stand with us, the workers who make this county function, or will you turn your back on the very people who help this community every single day? Thank you.
My name is Hector Vasquez, and I am a SEIU 521 member. I stand before you today not only as a worker, but as a voice for the thousands of dedicated county employees who feel undervalued and disappointed by the county's recent last, best, and final offer. For years, we have provided vital services to this community, from public safety to mental health care, social services, and everything in between. We are the backbone of Kern County's success. Yet despite our hard work and unwavering commitment, the offer presented to us fails to reflect the rising cost of living, inflation, or the dedication we bring to our jobs each and every day. We have sacrificed and adapted, especially through the challenges of recent years, including the pandemic, budget constraints, and staffing shortages. But this offer sends a clear message. Our contributions and sacrifices are not a priority. This is disheartening and demoralizing for a workforce already stretched thin. What we are asking for is not unreasonable. It's fairness. Fair wages that keep pace with inflation, benefits that allow us to care for our families, and working conditions that allow us to continue serving our community effectively. We urge this board to come back to the table in good faith with an offer that demonstrates respect for the people who keep this county running. Kern County employees deserve better. The residents we serve deserve better. And we will not stop advocating for the dignity and recognition we have earned. Thank you.
My name is David Camacho. I've worked for Kern County almost 12 years as an animal control officer, and I'm a proud member of local SEIU Local 521. I'm here today to comment today about why my coworkers are preparing for an unfair labor practice strike. I had something written down, but actually I'm just gonna go off the cuff here. I actually want to tell some stories. I have coworkers that work with me in the shelter who make $16 an hour. That's just not right. I don't understand that. And then for what kind of things do they get for that? They get dog bites to the face. I don't understand how 3% is even, how you guys can even come up with that. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I've literally, at midnight on a random Saturday, I've laid down on the side of the road on Fairfax Road with a dog that was severely injured as I was euthanizing the dog, and I've cried with the dog. I've literally gave my blood, sweat, and tears for this job, almost 12 years. I've torn my right bicep tendon for this job. I have a piece of metal in my arm right here. I have other coworkers with me that have the same. He has a piece of metal in his shoulder. I have a coworker that works with me who has a hole in his roof because he can't afford better rent. He can't afford more rent. He can't afford a better place. He has a slumlord. I just don't know how this is. I don't know how we got to this point, but you guys need to do better. You guys can do better. We're out here helping you guys, helping the community, helping your constituents. Help us, help them. Do better. That's all I'm asking. Return to the table, guys. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Camacho.
My name is Julie Sugg, S-U-G-G. Your union members work here for the love of their community. Personally, I've been employed by Kern for 23 years. I am an animal control officer. I wear a bulletproof vest. I carry weapons. I euthanize and am required extensive training. I've been mauled. I've been bitten. I've been assaulted. And I've dealt with verbal abuse and mental health issues. I do this because I love my community. That's why I get up every day. I assist the sheriff, the fire department, and the coroner. We used to work one job, have a savings account, pay into a second retirement to supplement the one we currently have, which is not enough to live off of after 30 years of service. We are physically broken. Now we work multiple jobs, are constantly 2 months behind on bills, and many of us spending our lives exhausted. Why do we stay? Family, friends, a life we created here that we can no longer afford. I end this request that the board admit you do not know our names. You do not know our jobs, that you go back to the table and reflect on this unacceptable offer that will continue to starve the employees of Kern. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Teofilo Ted Lopez Rivero, and I'm a union member of SEIU 521. I work for the waste management area, and what I see where I work is a lack of help in some of our metropolitan landfills. It takes close to an hour to get in and another hour just to get out. We cannot seem to keep a lot of very good workers because it's become a revolving door of hiring because of what they are expected to do for the amount of wages you think it's okay. What I find intriguing is that this is all about simple economics. You guys get paid in much, much bigger pay bracket than all of us do. Sure, you guys get a 3% raise and that's fine, but not when you think somehow that is the same as asking us to accept what most of us are in a much, much lower paying bracket to begin with. Could it ever be fair? No. that you guys want us to keep, want to keep everybody in the dark about how you guys get paid much, much more and only have to report to work one day out of the week when all of us have to report every day and sometimes at overtime. Although you've given small wage increases by increments that are spread way too far apart to be obtainable, and I believe that standard wage rate that we are in now simply does not conform to the narrative that these are somehow livable and sustainable wages for a majority of the backbone of Kern County. They're all the hardworking Kern County employees. This living wage proposal that you guys want us to agree to is by all means insulting, and it shows your stubbornness and your unwillingness to act in the best interest of the ones you were sworn to not only to represent, but also to protect, and most importantly, to take care of in the best interest of all our citizens in this county.
Thank you, Mr. Romero.
I hope you really think about this next time when you go back, because what you're asking us to accept is incredibly insane.
My name is Socorro Belandria, and I've spoken here before. And just like the gentleman said, your 330 is nothing compared to your wages. I'm sure when you compare it to your yearly wages, 330 is a lot, but not for us. Now, behavioral health was to go on strike. That means no case managers, no therapists, no medication is getting given to these sick people. They're out in the street, self-medicating. So is that right? Is that good? That's not good all the way around. So I had a speech that I had prepared, but every time I come up here, no one's listening. No one's listening. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you guys. Cry and tell you that our bills are just due. My tags are expired. I'm eating ramen noodle and I work for the county. That's ridiculous. Please consider fair wages, better contract. We need to retain our employees. It's ridiculous. It used to be pride and joy to work for the county, and now it's not. Now it's not. When you have people trying to apply for food stamps and WIC just to get by. Do better.
Ms. Anderson.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to recap some vital information for the public and the members here. One of the most important and challenging jobs that we have is balancing the resources of the county with the services needed and often mandated that require staffing and infrastructure. It has been especially challenging to remain fiscally stable as we all grapple with the inflation that across the board results in costs that are outpacing our resources. The largest investment made in the annual budget is our workforce. Over the past 3 years, the county has approved $88 million in cost of living increases for SEIU members, in addition to $21 million in equity adjustments for 74 classifications that were much needed. In June of 2024, all employees received an automatic 2% COLA. Additionally, the current proposal being voted on now totals more than $35 million. This includes a 3% COLA for current year valued at $15 million. This is in addition to the 2% already received, so that's a total of 5% for current year. A 3% COLA next year valued at $30.5 million. A salary reopener, not 0%, in 2026. An option for vacation or cash payout valued at $2.8 million. And much needed equity adjustments for another 21 classifications ranging from 2 to 27%, valued at $2.6 million. Also, we know that there's concern around winter recess being still valid for and that is true. That is still in place until a successor MOU is approved. It has been mentioned that the county has had a change in net position of 130%, and that was mentioned today and previously. And I would like CFO Elsa Martinez to provide a clarity on that to the public, because I know government financial statements are very complex, and we'd like to clarify that for you.
Well, I, for one, am interested in hearing it. Ms. Martinez?
We don't get it.
Let's take a break. We're gonna take a recess.
This is pathetic.
We'll reconvene the meeting, I guess is the correct terminology here. And we were about to hear from our CFO, Elsa Martinez, about some of the comments that were sort of a response to the comments that we just had, specifically one in particular, and that's our net financial position. All right, thank you. Proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. As Ms. Anderson indicated, a statement was made that the county's net financial position has increased $1.1 billion or 130% since 2019. Allow me to give you context to this statement. First, let me clarify where the information is coming from. SEIU representatives are using 2023 financial statements, which are over 17 months old. Second, they are using data from the government-wide financial statements of net position, which is only a snapshot of both the assets, which includes the cash, receivables, buildings, roads, and the liabilities, such as debt service and pension liabilities. If we are going to use the statement of net position to reflect the snapshot of the financial standing of the county, similar to a private entity, we need to look at all components of that financial position. This is a summary that I prepared comparing the 2019 and 2023 financial statements being used. If you look at the bottom highlighted total net position, if you don't look at the details, if you just compare those two numbers, there is a 130% increase. But looking at the details, you realize that the number is made of several components, including on the first arrow, $2 billion of capital assets, such as roads, that cannot be converted to cash for salaries. You also see the different categories of net positions, such as debt service, again, cannot be used to pay salaries. What could be used to pay salary increases is the unrestricted net position, that big negative number in parentheses. So what you can see is that is a negative. The statement shows at a deficit. You cannot use what you don't have to pay salaries. And while the bottom line reflects a 130% increase, the reality that we are at a deficit if we were to use this statement. This is why we don't use this statement. What do we use? So we use current data. The auditor controller certifies the year-end balances on June 30 of any fiscal year. So they certify in July the net position of the county, the fund balance of in July of 2024. By August 2024, your board already adopting a budget that is using that current data. And we do a 5-year projection within our budget that is available to the public, and it reflects the resources the county has to pay for salaries, not just to SEIU, but all our employees. As Ms. Anderson indicated, we have provided 2% step increase as part of the 10th step. We also provided another 2% COLA, and then now we have made a proposal to the county. We use the resources we have. We value their services, but we also have to balance the services to the community with the resources we have and ensuring that we are providing the mandated services, not only this year, but on a continuous basis. So if you have any questions, I'm available.
If we go back a few years and we look at the most recent increases, plus what we're offering moving forward, isn't it close to 29%?
Overall, across the board, we have done a 4%, a 2%, and another 2%. So that's 8% across the board. Okay. In addition to that, some classifications that needed, honestly, they needed equity adjustments, some of them received, 5%, some of them receive 50% increases. So we are evaluating constantly those classifications that we have retention and recruitment nations, and your board have approved those increases. So overall, if you add up the value that is ongoing cost, I want to make clear that it's not one cost that we pay 1 year. It's a cost that we're going to have to continue paying moving forward. It is close to $100 million. All the adjustments, 88 adjust on equity, and then within all the changes in equity adjustments for classification and our current proposal, it is over $100 million of ongoing costs.
Thank you.
For the
Thank you
county.
thank you for that context.
And that number isn't just pay, right?
That is inclusive of benefits as well. So if we give, for our general membership, if we give them a $1 raise, we have to send to our retirement system 43 cents for every dollar. So it is inclusive of the benefit costs.
Thank you.
I don't know where to start. I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to ask the SEIU membership in particular, but the first speaker we had made a comment that said, "We work for your board," and I just want to clarify that they did not work for me or anybody else on this board. They work for every tax-paying citizen in Kern County, just like we all do. And we want to do everything that we can to make sure that they're successful, that they can provide for their families, 100%. But we can't take care of our community by spending more than we take in. We can't just afford to give away, basically, we're going to have to look at cutting services. We're going to have to look at declining raises for other groups. We don't just have a blank check to spend every time we think it's a good idea. We think we've done the best we can with this. We've provided what I believe is very fair raises, and we keep hearing we're only worth 3%. Well, we're not talking about dollar figures here. 3% compared to what? I heard about a 17% increase in Tulare County. Okay, well, what's the base pay in Tulare County? Maybe that was an equity adjustment. I don't know. We're not hearing accurate numbers, though. We're hearing nitpicked pieces of information. And another thing that I want to address that really irritated me personally is when we heard from Dolores Huerta that Kern County is seen as a backwards county. Kern County is not seen as a backwards county by anybody that I talk to. This is seen as a place of hard work, where innovation happens, where people have solid community values. And unfortunately, not all, but many of the candidates and people out there that Dolores Huerta's group has supported at the state level have caused a lot of the problems that we're seeing at the oil industry, with water, with agriculture. So that's a whole nother conversation that I'm happy to have. But it's not just as simple as writing a blank check. And again, I wish I would have had that conversation with some of the members of SEIU, but they feel it's important to be heard but not to listen to anybody, which again is not surprising.
When I first joined the Board of Supervisors, not to age myself, but with Couch a dozen years ago, I recall the nature and makeup of the county budget. And it was profoundly impacted by, what has been the industry driving culture and the bottom line for Kern County for over a century. And at that time, a third of our discretionary money, the money we actually have the ability to do something with, raises, services in the community, that was 1/3 nearly of our discretionary budget. And we are now looking at less than 10 to less, single digits from the contribution of the natural resource and economic development reality for Kern County for a century. I was stricken by members of the workforce and their stories. They are so compelling. They are so heartbreaking. I love them all so much. But one said, we are 750,000 strong. We are a force to be reckoned with. And what is so frustrating about this conversation is to know that for every percentage increase in raise for our SEIU workforce, which is 5,000 members strong, every 1% raise is $1 million a year in perpetuity moving forward. That is astronomical to think about, in particular with what has happened to the discretionary budget of Kern County with the never-ending, largely ideological assault on Kern County's very existence. That is the truth. I believe it is largely ideological, largely partisan, largely self-serving. And what it does is impact a place like Kern County so profoundly that you see the stories, you hear them, they're heartbreaking, they're heart-wrenching. These are our people. This is Kern County. These are our neighbors. But the reality is, when you have a entire statewide apparatus, the fourth largest economy of the world, whose members seem to be really united in the absolute destruction of Kern County's economy and the ability to provide raises and to get our people to be upwardly mobile. I think that army of 750,000 people needs to be directed at Sacramento, needs to be directed at the people who change the nature of Kern County's ability to thrive by a stroke of a pen and without any real consideration for what the impact is on the families that are here. So I would like a future where this 750,000 member strong family talks honestly about the leadership of this state and what it is doing to places like Kern County, the place that keeps the lights on, feeds and fuels the world. They're on the cutting edge of carbon capture, where our own governor is bragging about this right here in Kern County, and yet shutting down our ability to meet our own needs and provide for our own. That's the reality. That's the political reality. That's too complicated to do in 2 minutes here at the podium, and very few people understand it anyway. So I want to thank you for your hard work. I wish that we could make each of our family members here, those that are here and beyond, upwardly mobile, hopeful, Americans, because that's the basis of a thriving society. But the reality is we are in the crossfire, and we are perpetual sort of victims of bad governance. That's the truth. And then we get blamed for an outcome where 1% is $1 million in perpetuity. And our budget has literally shrunk by 2/3 to be able to do such a thing. In my tenure, Mining Couch's tenure on this board.
Don't drag me into this.
I mean, during our recent tenure, we have seen this during our tenure here. And so it is more than frustrating. It is heartbreaking. It is to think of our families in this condition going into Christmas is harrowing. But it is complicated, and it is largely out of our control unless we can communicate effectively and organize politically against a group of people that do not have our interests in heart, do not know what's going on, can't plan for transmission or keep the lights on in any way, shape, or form. It's all Kern County. So we're a little more than frustrated up here, but my heart is broken for what I hear. And I know that this body's going to do what we can to meet the needs of our people, but it's virtually impossible with the governance structure that we have. That is the truth. Thank you, Chair.
Well said.
Just wanted to ask, and maybe I missed this, or maybe we can't talk about it, I'm not sure, but the initial ask from SEIU for, percentage for a raise, can we say what that number was?
The last request we received from SEIU, if I remember correctly, was 6% in year 1, 6% in year 2, and a salary opener in year 3. Our proposal is 3% for year 1, 3% for year 2, and a salary reopener in year 3.
But where did it start?
Where did it start? It was in excess of 8% for year 1, and I believe is 8% in year 2, and there was also a request for year 3, but I do not recall what it was off the top of my head. That was back in June.
Okay. And then one of the other things I was going to ask is, one of the speakers mentioned that they had asked for some non-monetary items, and we dismissed them out of hand. And I would be interested to know what non-monetary items. I mean, everything in a negotiation has a fiscal impact. So I don't know if you know of any off the top of your head.
Yeah, some of the monetary, non-monetary items included looking at workloads, which we discuss weekly, monthly in the labor management meetings with each department. They asked to reduce some policies that are already existing, including increasing the cap for vacation and sick leave, increasing the amount of accruals, which in fact are monetary in the end. They also asked to modify the remote work policy and ask for more work from home ability.
Okay, thank you.